Today's dynamic landscape, industries don't just hire skills, they invest in adaptability, integrity, and the mindset to grow beyond the job description. A very good morning, ladies and gentlemen, honored guests, and distinguished dignitaries. It's my privilege to stand before you today as your host. And on behalf of entire MERF fraternity, I, Sakshi, extend a warm and heartfelt welcome to an inspiring session on industry expectations. Industry expectations extend well beyond technical expertise. Employers today seek professionals who possesses strong soft skills, adaptability, and a solid ethical foundation. The ability to work effectively in diverse, fast-paced environments. Organization value individuals who not only excel in their specific domain but also show initiative, think critically, and consistently demonstrate a strong sense of responsibility and dedication.
Thank you, Sakshi. Um, it's really a pleasure, first of all, that all the students, most of the students, are here. Our seminar series, being coordinated by Mr. Devesh Bahadur, is picking up speed now, and every speaker we have is adding great amount of value. As I keep on mentioning to you, we want to minimize the formality in such seminars and increase the functionality of these seminars. Most important being that you should ask questions, because people with this kind of experience, like Mr. Amit Goel, has 20 years of experience plus, and only in this company, okay, Nokia, but not in the same area. Currently, he is in the radio software, and he has experience in product development, technology appraisals, training people, etc., etc. So now it's up to the students and even faculty to get out the maximum from a person like that, right? He can claim specialties based on his experience on product management, technology, business management, business strategy, analytics, and consulting. So if you ask one question each in these areas, you have a plateful right there. So what I'm going to suggest today is that you guys work out with each other, whatever way you work out, and one question in each one of these areas should be there. And second, you should add, well, what is the skill required in a company like Nokia? It's a technology company, basically. We all know that commercializable mobiles, small size at least. Before that, Motorola were there, big size in our army and other places, 5 kilo to 10 kilo each. They had a battery which you had to crank to charge. So I've seen that myself with the signals people in the army in the 50s, 60s. My uncle was in the signals branch of the army. Now from there, one wonders, and I don't know whether you have wondered or not, that Nokia became the largest mobile manufacturer at a particular time, but then withdrew from the market. Withdrew from the market. Competition, other reasons. Why? Because at a strategic level, you decide that you want to go to the systems which support these networks rather than to work on a product, because you can always license that product. And it was, I think it would be called 2GM at that time, GSM once. And now we had 3GM, 3G, 4G, 5G, and their company, like few other companies, is already working on 6G. I mean, to be launched around 2030. So now that is the kind of management game which is there. And so what is the basic skill required? And this is what I would like you to interact with him. This is my welcome to you all and to him, that you have a person with rare capability who will tell you that what kind of abilities are required, what is agility required to move in that direction. So I was just asking him, how come you have remained in one company for 20 years? My MBAs hardly do that. So he says, no, I am in one company, but I keep on shifting to the division and areas of work and so on and so forth. So it is a shift, but it is within the same company or same group. Having said this, please enjoy this lecture. He is very open to organizing the lecture as you want it. So I will just make a suggestion, and You can tell me whether that suggestion is all right. Kindly concentrate for a moment, answer my question. Um, should we ask him to speak for about half an hour, and you can interrupt if you want and ask him a question, and then have 15 minutes proper question and answer sessions. And by that time, as I said, in each one of these areas, your one question should be ready.
Hey, good morning, everyone. So, thanks, Professor Rakesh and Professor Devinder, for inviting me here. First of all, let's start with some basic fundamentals. So, let's not treat this as a lecture, right? I want to have a interactive discussion of how you can see yourself from, from your graduating years to your professional life. So I want you to be interactive. I would be asking some questions here and there. So if you are please using your phones, can you keep it aside? And if you want to take a call, you can just step out. It would be easy for all of us, right? Okay, so I'll give a bit of a background about myself so that you know me and what I have done and what I do, and then we can, Okay. So what I've done and how I have been working within the same organization. So I've been with Nokia. Actually, I'm completing 20 years in 2 months' time. So people will say that it's like a PSU or a government job. But within this company, I have been diversifying my profile, my role, I think every 3-4 years. And it is all about the opportunity, upskilling, learning new things, and moving into different horizons. So staying within the same organization and moving on. So I did my BTech, my master's way back in 2002. And then I started with a small firm. I'm not sure if all of you or any one of you would know HFCL, Himachal Futuristic Limited, right? So that was a very short time. I was a fresh grad. I just moved out of the college. So, I didn't knew anything. So for me, it was like a blank page. There was no one technically to guide me, even though my parents were both from government jobs. But, getting into a industry experience, a private sector is a different ball game compared to what you would do in your graduating years or even in a government jobs. So it was a new. I had to do a lot of learning on myself, and each one of us will do the same thing. You moved out from your schools to the college. From your college, when you move to the professional life, you will face the same thing. So let's be open. Please ask questions. Please clarify your doubts if you have anything. I'll not be talking anything primarily about the technologies, but if you have any questions, then we can discuss more about it. So after HFCL, I moved it to Hutch that time. So there was a UK brand, Hong Kong brand basically, Hutchison Whampoa, and it was providing the telecom services for North India and other markets. And then Hutchison was taken over by the brand that we know today, Vodafone. So Vodafone bought Hutchison then, and from Hutchison I moved to Nokia. So I moved there in 2005, and I have been there. I joined there as a system engineer. From there, system engineering, I moved as a managerial role. From managerial, I moved to tech support. From tech, I moved to business management, then sales, then technology. I was heading the technology at some point of time. Then I moved to product management, and I've been like for product management for almost like 8 years. And within that, there have been different changes to the profile. But we'll talk about at the end of it that what does it actually need when you are changing your profiles, when you are upskilling, you're learning, or you are unlearning. So for any learning, we say in IIM very clearly that if you want to learn anything, you have to first unlearn it. So keep that always in mind. It will help you. So if you move to the slides, please. So the topic that I want to discuss today is when you are graduating from this institute, what would you see? See, you will be open in the field compared you will be open in the field compared to all the other graduates which are coming from different colleges. Some would be coming from a probably a better college, better placed. Some would be coming from a lower college or a different segments. But what does it matters beyond your college life or your college stamp is actually your skill, because all of you here are having the same degree, probably with the different grades. So some of you would be in A grade, B grade, A plus grade, whatever your grades are. But when we interview our freshers batch, we look for other skills. We look for different mindset approach. What exactly are you bringing on the table? And I'm not asking those, kind of fancy questions that someone will ask that, how you sell me a pencil. No, these things have gone by. But if as a interviewer you are sharp and focused, then you would be only looking for a different kind of mindset that the candidate is bringing on the table. Fortunately, unfortunately, the function that I belong to or that I lead to is actually no more looking into freshers, because we look for experienced person. So that comes within the organization or outside. So that kind of challenge neither I have or not the candidate has it, because that has been taken care of. So in my team, most of the people would be like 15 years plus of experience by default. I think that would be the average. But then there are teams who look for it. So when you go into initial services, when you go for an initial sales, it is important for you to understand that what exactly are you looking for it. And that is where I call as an industry knowledge, industry experience.
Can I
Yeah,
interject
please.
for a moment for the advantage of all the students here, that he changed the topic from industry expectations. Industry expectations on a very long horizon would be anything and everything. And he has focused it for 2 years, next 2 years. And actually, that is what is relevant to most of you, right? So that is the framework.
Yep. Okay. So how I have divided this discussion is into three parts. So the first part is about the skills that you need in your professional capacity. So like I was mentioning, beyond your degrees, you would also need your professional skills. What kind of professional skills do you need? What kind of mindset do you need when you are actually moving to a professional life? Right? So everyone has a degree. If there are 50 candidates who are coming for the interview, I have to select, let's say, 2 of them or 5 of them. So that's a kind of a rejection rate of 90%. So out of that 90% rejection, if I'm selecting the 10%, what is the actual skill I'm looking for? So this is what I'm talking about here. Then there is a personal or soft skills. So personal and soft skills are generally not very easy to gauge at the interview levels, but we make some hard choices sometimes. Soft skills we call about, and I will talk about in detail during the discussion. But soft skills generally are either evolving or observed over a period of time. So you can't come, I can't have a discussion with any candidate for half an hour, 1 hour, and I can say that his or her soft skills are good or bad, or this skill is missing, this is not. There could be some observations which is very visible, but then some are other. Then the third topic is, I'll give a kind of a flavor of what kind of different skills do we require at different jobs. So I have taken like mine example, though I have not captured all my jobs in here, but within Nokia the predominant ones, and it is like in contrast of what is we are talking about. All right. So any questions? That girl in the middle is busy on the phone. Any questions do you have? So what I was talking about, let's. Okay, guys, so my point is not to embarrass, but please be attentive. This will help you. This is not going to help me. I'm gone after 1 hour. Faculty is gone after 1 hour. They are arranging it for your benefit. You like it, you dislike it. You know, there are institutes who are able to do that, and you should, take benefit. Then there are institutes who don't do that. Still, you get the same certificate. Huh? Yeah, yeah. They don't do it. It was very easy for me to say to my friend and colleague, Mr. Devinder, that no, sorry, I can't come. I have to cancel all my meetings. But it's not about me, it's about you. It's not about the faculty. So try to utilize this. Maybe out of this half an hour, 45 minutes of discussion, there is one thing that clicks you. Right? So be attentive. The phones are not going away. The WhatsApp is not going away. Insta doesn't go anywhere away. I keep on telling this to my kids. It's a sheer waste of time. You will realize it 20 years down the line. 70s, the world was famous about, or it cult. The cult was about smoking. 80s, 90s, it was about fashion, and now it is about social media. You like it or you don't like it. The Westerners are damaging us. The amount of time we all spend, including myself, on social media is just futile. I woke up like last night, I didn't had any good sleep. I woke up at 2:30. So as usual, I first check my mail. So this is my, general flow. So first thing is I check my mails. Second, I check my WhatsApp. Third, I hook to either Instagram or something. After half an hour, I realized, I've spent 15 minutes on Instagram, but there was nothing. Then I moved to reading journals. I spent another 15 minutes there, and there was some useful information that I captured about it, and that was about financial investing. Different topic altogether. But the point I'm trying to make is don't waste and spend your time on these things. Utilize it. Not part of this discussion, not part of this lecture, but in general. Okay, I think your parents would be also kind of passing on the same messages every then and now. So let's move to the next one, please. So develop digital technological proficiency. What does this mean? So can anyone please explain this to me? What does this mean? Okay, actually, can you just take one back? Yeah, sorry, most of you would have read it, but what does it mean? Let's roll on the mic. Anyone with the hands up? Digital and technological proficiency. It's a cross examination for the faculty and the students. Huh? You have to focus on how the world is evolving. We talked about digitalization, we talked about social media. This is all about digitalization. What exactly are we doing there? Why don't we understand this as a big picture? Why don't we see what transformations are happening all across us? So e-commerce is a classical case of digital transformation. So what was earlier? We all used to go to a Kirana store, order the grocery, and then he used to either deliver it or he doesn't have the delivery boy, and we used to go and pick up. The world was working same like this. Then there was a uh, companies, corporates who thought about it, that why don't we use a kind of a digitalization process and automate it in a way that the user doesn't need to go to a grocery store. So what do we need? We need the delivery boys. We need to align with the Kirana store. So the delivery was still happening initially from the Kirana stores. The Amazons or the Flipkarts or anyone, they didn't came up with their warehouses. So they just added the intermediators in between. So rather than you going it was as good as your servant going in or a delivery boy bringing in. There was nothing different. But what it added was that they gave you a fancy app. And that was the only digital transformation it happened. So you break the barriers in between. You add the value, so that now you don't need to call up your Kirana store, does he has a delivery boy. You are not hooked only to your servants or your drivers or anyone who can come and deliver this to you at your place. So this was kind of one basic fundamental thing which happened. The same thing happened with your Ubers and Olas and other things. There's no change. You still get a car, you still get a driver, they still deliver you from one place to other place. They are the same cars, same drivers which were there with the taxi stands. What happened? They gave you a fancy app in between where a user can book the cars which are associated with that. So we call it, in our management terms, we call it as a platform and a platform enablers. So you created a platform and then you have a platform enabler. There was a very good, kind of a reference in our IIM days that, we generally, when we have a platform and you don't have a platform enabler. So what are these enablers? Let's talk about if you have an Instagram. So I think this new one that we started was Threads, right? How many of you are on Threads? Let's have a hands up. She's on their Threads. Okay, who all are on Threads? They have not even heard of it. You have heard. You heard. Haha, no. No. That's. I will give you a reference point. Why I'm asking this. So, be honest. Okay, there's a one hand there. So, what do you do on threads when no one is there? Sorry,
Downloaded it and left it out.
I can't hear you. Can you be a bit louder?
I just downloaded it and just left it out. I am not using it quite regularly.
You are not using it regularly.
Yes.
You have
Be-
just downloaded it.
Because in the end, it is the replica of Twitter.
Okay. Let me ask the other question. How many of you are on Instagram? Come on. There cannot be anyone who's not having a hands up. My kids are in school and they have it. So this is the platform enablers. Why? Of course, you will be hooked to those whatever influencers and reels and other things. But then the moment you see that the other person, the girl sitting next to you or the boy sitting next to you is on Insta or on this social media, you want to be there. And then there is a competition always that who shares what. So this is called as an enablers. So the organizations, when we are actually doing a transformation, look for both the angles. The first angle is always that you create a platform. So Uber is not successful. I remember those days when Uber came in. Like, I'll give you a practical example. When Uber came in, they were not sending those dirty sedans that we have today or this Uber goes, those brokens. They were sending classic Mercedes. I was getting a drop from my office in Gurgaon to Delhi. So I stay in Vasant Kunj. From Delhi to Vasant Kunj, which is like 12 kilometers, at 115, 120 in a C class. Yeah. 49. They were, see, 49, 99. Exactly. Yeah. So, a C class, a black C class was dropping me in 100 and something. So, the moment I told this to my colleagues, my friends, or someone told this to me, it started creating an effect. Uber is not successful if there are no users, if there are no drivers. The app cannot do anything. It's a disaster. The Blue Smart app still exists. There are no drivers, there are no users. They wind it up. They wind it up. It's up for the sale. It's all done. So Meru's problem was that Meru was on a point to point from there. So they did a half transformation of moving the kind of they aggregated the taxis into stands to the points, airports and others. So they picked up the hotspots and then they aggregated it. But then the others kind of went up completely open that it can be anywhere. So you can book it from anywhere. I could have booked in Meru from any other distant location. So for example, if I have to book it from Meru from here, I can't do that. I have to call their helpline, they will check and then they will send. So there was no immediate availability. And the drivers were not having the access to the geopolitical locations with the phones. So point is, look for these opportunities, look for these things, how the world is changing. Artificial intelligence, I think it's very common these days. We have been knowing about it for last almost like half a decade or more than that, 7 years, 8 years. But the way it has kind of, got into our day-to-day life is for last 2 years. Everything that we do is actually getting through an artificial intelligence. Whether now it is like, when I was like, last night I was on this Insta, so I saw this one sponsored ad which said that you can upload any of your photo and then you can make your, that I want to convert this to a modeling photo. And it will change everything, your attire, your background, your body, your physics, it keep the still same face the same. All AI based. So, there are benefits and there are drawbacks because nothing is real with artificial intelligence. You can't trust. But then this is a kind of a transformation and a technology which is going to stay with us for next decades. Machine learning, blockchain, data analysis. Can anyone please explain what is blockchain? I would really like to know.
ब्लॉकचेन मेथड मोस्टली जहाँ तक मेरी नॉलेज है इट्स मोस्टली यूज इन क्रिप्टो Like whenever we use the transaction for anonymous transactions, so we use the blockchain method, so no one can identify where we got the transaction.
What is it's called? Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
What is technically this kind of uh, defines it? So
uh,
crypto is fine. I can have a crypto. I can give this crypto to Dr. Rakesh and say, this is my crypto words and this is I'm giving to him. Is it still a blockchain?
yes.
Okay. Anyone else? You are getting closer, but I'll tell you from which angle or which use case you are getting closer, but you're not coming from the actually technology side.
Just a small clarification. What I get to sense from what you're talking about, that blockchain is all about crypto. No. Sorry. Blockchain is a lot beyond that. Crypto uses blockchain.
Yeah.
So crypto is not out of blockchain.
So
To just give you a wider understanding, Dubai is working on a blockchain system where nobody will need to file a tax return. It will all be automatically filed. And they're using blockchain for that.
I think I have mentioned Sampla. He, while being a student, now he's in MTech, developed a blockchain solution for the school system of Haryana, which is headquartered at Bhiwani. So he used the blockchain for keeping all the data and getting data whatever you want. So the applications can be to any area.
And one most important aspect of blockchain, why blockchain is getting so much in use, it cannot be overwritten. Whatever has been written on blockchain cannot be deleted, cannot be overwritten. That's one basic thing which makes it very, very useful.
So the technical definition of blockchain is that it is a decentralized and distributed ledger. So, what's your name? Naveen. And what's your name? Sorry, Nini. From others here. So Naveen and others, the reference that you gave was coming from Bitcoin. Bitcoin is one of the classical case of how they are using the blockchain, not the other way around. But a good attempt, fair attempt. The other case is what Professor Devender said was also true, that Dubai is now using it for implementation of the tax filing. Similarly, other agencies are also using it. So it's used very heavily with insurance companies, with government healthcare. Even some governments are using it for voting. The point is that because of this passing of the user codes in crypto language among multiple ledgers, it cannot be broken. So the data is very unique and private. It cannot be either parsed nor it can be hacked. And that's the reason, even in today's world, though I'm not a big fan of crypto, but Bitcoin is still one of the biggest ones and the uniquest ones because of the diverse amount of blockchain that they have deployed. I think they have like 50,000 plus servers that they have when I was following it last.